there anybody I'd base Dresden on? How did I go about creating Dresden? Well, first of all, you have to understand that I created Dresden as an exercise in my writing a genre fiction novel class in order to prove to my writing teacher how wrong she was about all her ideas of writing. Because she'd been trying to give me very good writing advice for a long time. This was in the grad program at OU's College of Journalism, in the professional writing program there. And she'd been trying to give me very good advice for a long time, which I'd been ignoring because I had a bachelor's degree in English literature. Whereas she had merely published 40 novels. So, I'd been arguing with her for a couple of years, and finally I said, okay, one semester I said, okay, I'm going to be her good little writing monkey this semester. I'm going to do all of her little worksheets, I'm going to fill out all the little things, I'm going to follow this very artificial, very terrible process that she's trying to get us to get involved in, and I'm going to show her what terrible cookie-cutter pablum crap comes out of it. And that's when I wrote Stormfront. Which showed her. But Dresden himself, I put him together from two sources. One, classical long-term popular wizards, and two, long-term popular private eyes. And I said, okay. And I started with Merlin and Sherlock, and those are the first two that I used. And I started, listing all the very artificial process, listing all the common traits between all these popular literary wizards, and then all the common traits between the popular successful literary private eyes. And noticed a couple of interesting crossovers. One, all the wizards and the private eyes, they really get all of their real power from knowledge. They go find things out. That's what really makes them dangerous. What made Gandalf dangerous to Sauron was not the fact that Gandalf had a medium-sized special effects budget and could throw fire and stuff at him. That wasn't what made him dangerous. What made him dangerous was him running around the land, finding things out, and going down into the dark, musty vaults of Minas Tirith and looking up all these old records and realizing, oh, wait a minute, this is how we killed the guy. That's what made Gandalf dangerous, not that he could do all this other stuff. And private eyes kind of function in the same way. I mean, you can have a private eye who is scrappy and good in a fight. You can have somebody like Spencer who can box you right to the ground if you want to play that kind of game with him, or maybe just flood you if you want to play rough. But that is not what really makes him dangerous. What makes him dangerous is his ability to go places and find things out. Now, whether they're going into a literal underworld like the Mines of Moria, or whether they're going into a more metaphorical underworld like the underside of the Boston crime scene, that's what they do. So I said, okay, well, these are the things I want to put together. So, what else do I need from wizards? All wizards are grumpy. I'm going to put that in. It's just true. All private eyes are mouthy, as much as I can tell. All the long-term popular ones, and they both tend to be arrogant. You look at something like Sherlock Holmes, who was just a terribly arrogant character. He's occasionally so arrogant he almost seems innocent of the fact that he was so arrogant because he was so smart. So he said, okay, what are the other things about, especially looking at the hard-boiled American private eyes, what are the things about these guys that make them make them popular, make them long-running characters? And, well, you know what? They will all mouth off to exactly the wrong people at exactly the wrong time. And they'll do it every time. And they can all take an enormous beating, and yet still drag themselves out the other side and continue pursuing their goal. And those were the basic character traits that I put together for Dresden. And so, there you go. Kind of a long answer. But right here. Will the history of Colin Murphy, how he killed himself, etc., come out? Will it be important in any way? Well, no. Because that would require that he actually killed himself. And I'll leave it at that. Right here, in the zombie shirt. What do I feel is my biggest cliche? And the easier question would be, what do I feel is my biggest avoidance of cliche? There's far fewer of those. The Wizard with Fireballs thing was probably it. I tried not to, but I played too much D&D when I was young. And, you know, basically it was going to happen. I tried to avoid it, but it didn't work out. Although I have had fun playing with fireballs in like the same way that we used to do in all the old D&D games. It's just 3,000 cubic feet of fire. Now you got to understand, we're in a 10 by 10 hallway. It's this far. It's just about this far. Why are you slowing down the game with that crap? It's simple math. Yeah, I'm in a room with kids this grade. Let's go right here in black and red. Will we ever see Dresden forced into a situation where he may have to jump through time to do something? That would require him breaking one of the laws of magic. And it's not as though I have 7 books outlined, one for each law or anything. I'm just saying, that's all. We may probably possibly see some such thing at some point. Over here in the black. Am I right, the idea of having a short story crossing Dresden over into another universe, like Star Wars, Doctor Who, something like that? No, because I don't want to get sued. However, just so you're aware, the Dresden Files universe exists in a big, wide spectrum multiverse. So where it's not like there's parallel Earths. There's an entire broadband spectrum of parallel Earths, and if you go far enough, you'll find the parallel Earth where Spider-Man is. You'll find the parallel Earth where Star Wars stuff works. Dresden could get there if you really, really wanted to, but stop and think about that for a minute. I mean, would you really want to go to the Star Wars universe? Because you're not going to be a Jedi over there. Odds are pretty good. And really, Jedi are a whole lot scarier from ground level than they are from the passenger seat next to one. There's a bunch of people, they aren't fanatic mind control powers here. They don't want to talk to you. That's kind of spooky.
The RPG actually mentioned that you have different dresses based on different choices you had in this past book. Is that just for the RPG, or are we actually going to see some of those in the story?
The RPG mentions that you can have different dresses based upon, you can create different ones in the game based upon different choices you made in past books. And is that for the RPG only? No, they came up with that because they know that I'm using that as a storyline in the future. Because I've said several times it's only going to be a matter of time before I can resist doing a Mirror episode of the Dresden Files. In fact, I think I'm just going to call it Mirror. Come on, that's a great title, and it's the same number of letters and everything. My work is done. I'm down with that. I like it when it's already done for me. In the very back, in black.
Yeah, I was wondering, in one of the books, I believe Bob mentioned the Jade Court of Vampires. Will that ever come up, or can you talk about
Will the Jade Court of Vampires ever come up? They might briefly come up in the big finale, on account of they are in China, and they are isolationists, and they stay isolated. But yeah, there's a gang of Chinese vampires that are known to be trifled with. I saw Princess Bride recently, so if a bunch of Princess Bride references slip in tonight, I'm sorry, but it was on TV.